You are listening to episode 19 of the Underhook Show. My name is Steve, as always, alongside my co-host Chris. Chris, how you doing on this heat wave of a Wednesday evening?
Good. Got the AC blasting. It's a hot one.
We'll clean that up in post. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that one. And then it's a good night for wrestling, So I'm ready to dive in with you, my friend.
Got an episode of TV to get into here, and pretty much that's all. I think we're back to just our normal groove. Before we do that, though, did you catch any of the other wrestling going on around the world?
I did not caught. Did I catch anything? No. Nope. I don't think I caught anything this week. How about you, my
Fair,
friend?
fair enough. Well, I did not catch Collision, unfortunately. I've been mainly just watching the G1 every morning
Uh,
since
I'm a little
since the
sad.
start of this weekend. Unfortunately, bad news, Gabe Kidd getting injured in the Takeshita match. He had a really big follow-up after that. Like the night two match was against Zach, who's the world champion right now. So he had to forfeit the next two. But what I will say for anybody who's looking forward to Gabe Kidd's tournament, he did not. It's not confirmed that he's dropped the whole tournament yet. He's just forfeiting until he's cleared, which New Japan don't mess around. If they know that he can't wrestle the rest of the tournament, they will pull him, and everybody will be awarded their points. Sucks though, he missed the Zach and Shingo matches. I was almost wondering if he would have beat Zach to set up a title challenge in the fall, but that did not happen. So will remain to be seen where they go with that. But I'll tell you what, man, I've been enjoying the tournament. I didn't really know what to expect, but the A block, especially where it's like Tanahashi and the kids, has been really, really good.
I gotta get it. I gotta dive in more. After Gabe Kidd got hurt, I stopped watching it. To be fair.
Fair enough. Hey, that's your guy. I have been like locked in on this last dance for Tanahashi. We're doing a little thread over on the old Blue Sky, a little exclusive thread there, just reviewing each match in a couple paragraphs, and I feel like I'm kind of in my own bubble with it because I think the general audience are kind of beguiled by Tanahashi's like where he's at physically. But to me, it's almost like the story writes itself to where it's like how much is truly left in the tank when you have a month-long tournament and everybody around you is younger, faster, and stronger.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, man, night one main event against Taichi was pretty good, but the match he had yesterday against Boltin Oleg, that's my favorite match from the first couple of nights so far, man. It's like Oleg is such a beast and Tana is forced to just work in these tiny windows of opportunity. But like his false comeback spoilers, like I bit and I was like, I threw any critical lens out the window and I was just like full on cheering for Tanahashi to win. And I'm like, that's pro wrestling right there, man. Like when somebody just got you and you just want to see your hero overcome the odds and you're a grown ass man, like what's better than that?
I I'm becoming a fan of how do you say his name again?
Bolton
Oh,
Oleg.
that guy. Yeah, I'm
Dude,
becoming a
he's a beast
yeah.
because he has a legitimate wrestling background, but then he can just do all kind of insane power shit, and it's just like they got something with him, man. He's awesome.
I just looked at my queue for tomorrow because tomorrow's usually my wrestling day.
hmm
I got the tag festival first. I gotta knock that one out. But
I'm considering catching up on DPW this weekend because there really isn't a lot going on elsewhere. And as we were talking before we went on the air, I'm probably not leaving my house this weekend, so I think that's a good opportunity to catch up on DPW. So we'll have a little production meeting and see maybe we could do some catch up soon on the show.
then I gotta figure out where I left off at actually. Now that I think about it.
I
Huh.
left off from the Japan shows. I got to do May, June, and July.
I think I finished May. I think I gotta do June and July.
Cool. We'll talk about that off the air.
Okay.
Other than that, though, I unfortunately, and this is not something I've said in a while. Unfortunately, I didn't see Raw because I saw when the run sheet leaked, there was a lot of stuff on there I was interested in. So, did you catch any of Raw?
Don't believe I did. I can't remember. Did I watch? No, I was hanging out with some family on Monday, so I did not catch Raw. But I seen results, and I seen a Braun Breaker promo that did not sound too good, in my opinion. But hey, we'll get there. Hey,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know why they're doing that. He's got Paul Heyman, but I also don't know the context. But I just saw on the run sheet, Punk Gunther opened the show, but then it's like there's another Rusev Sheamus match, which like, come on,
ooh, I did
no
see a
brainer
clip
there.
of Sheamus kicking Rusev in the face.
That's what I'm here to see, you know. And then main event was Io Sky and Stephanie.
Oh, I want to
So I'm
say,
like,
did I tune into that main event? That sounds familiar. But I know I didn't watch the start of Raw, but I may have tuned in towards the end. But uh, maybe I need to go back and watch it because I want to see that Punk and Gunther opening segment.
yeah. So I think me and my brother are gonna catch that over the next couple of days. Uh, but as we do every single week, we're here to discuss the current happenings within All Elite Wrestling, that being the July 23rd edition of AEW Dynamite. Once again, coming from the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, Illinois. We are halfway through the residency now, because time flies. And overall, I think this was one of those Dynamites where it just breezes by. You know,
Yeah, it didn't feel like 2 hours or a little over 2 hours at all,
no,
really.
this was a go 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 show. Nothing was offensive. Some really good stuff in places, in my opinion. But that's why we're here to break it all down. Are you ready to get into the show?
Yeah, real quick, I think they're finding their niche finally in this
Yeah,
TV. After All In, I think they're finally finding it. Actually, before All In too.
yeah. I know they've been on a nice run, and I would say I appreciate that they did some things differently. Like there was more singles matches, even though one was more of an angle, but it wasn't. I feel like they started to get complacent where it was like multiple party matches, a
Yeah.
women's four way that doesn't really go anywhere. Like it feels like they have some things in place where they're actually building on, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I will say the run sheet that I'm using, there's a picture of Mox hanging Colt Cabana, and it's the craziest thing I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, that was from Saturday. I gotta go back and check that out
Yeah,
because
I did not see Collision either. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing, whatever.
hey man, time flies, and like we all got shit going on.
Oh,
It's the
side
nature
note,
of things. Yeah.
I did see other wrestling. I am so sorry. I saw TNA. I saw the pay-per-view.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, you texted
yeah,
me that. I
yeah,
was like, dog.
yeah.
So can I just explain like my outside perspective on this? Because I do want to hear your thoughts on the show. Because I did not watch a second of it, and quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to.
Uh-huh.
Um, that might be one. Hey, if we start a Patreon, you get me to watch 2025 TNA. But it's so strange to me. I'm not, and this is not anything I'm putting on you by any means, but
Uh-huh.
like more of outspoken people in the community, to where they're always kind of like, hey, like watch this, and that, like expand your horizons, but then it's like they all still drop what they're doing to watch a 2025 TNA show. So I'm like, all right, hey, like don't try to dress it as anything else. Like that's your bag. But what the hell happened with this show?
WWE cucked TNA.
Yeah, big
I can
time.
tell you that. So there was actual hype. Well, I'm not saying it wasn't even a bad show because it has good moments, like the ladder match and AJ Francis crotching himself on top of a ladder. Great moment.
That's probably
Uh,
all I saw. And then Ali taking that dive when no one caught him.
yeah, that was crazy too. There was hype, and I was like, man, they're hyping this up because now AJ's gonna be there. Oh, cool, cool. And I said, there's no way that you're gonna. The women's match made no like winner take all. So someone was gonna. We figured that Masha was gonna get it because you put the belt on Trick. So it's kind of like a trade. Boom.
But also, it's like it's Masha. Like
Yeah, and it's Masha, not
she should have every
JC
belt.
fucking Jane. No offense to JC Jane or JCJ fans, but it's not Masha. Uh,
Like Masha's legitimately a great wrestler who any Fed should be booking as like the top person in the division. You know what I mean? Like she's Masha Slamovich. She's a beast. Like I was shocked to see this. I just assumed that that was going to be her way to get on NXT.
yeah. Oh, there's another rumor though I heard about someone else coming to NXT.
Yeah,
Yeah, can't wait for that one. Uh,
that'll go over real well, I'm sure.
great. But what else? Oh, that Leon Slater Moose match was pretty awesome. I like Leon Slater winning. I like Leon Slater. I'm a Leon Slater guy.
He's cool. I've only really seen him in DPW, but
Yeah, that's where I learned about him from.
I really liked his stuff that I've seen.
And then, but yeah, it had a lot of build up. It had a lot of hype, and it fell flat. It fell so flat. And I feel bad because like they had a lot of hype going into it. You sold out that arena almost, I think, or you might have.
I think they
But
did like the first of all, it was in the new building that they built for the Islanders on Long Island. Like I don't think they packed it, but like that or maybe
I
they
want to say they sold
they,
like 26,000 or something like that. Like that's the number I'd seen,
wait, what
maybe.
the fuck? Really?
I
No.
could I could be wrong. Maybe I looked up something else, but I swear it was they
I'm
sold
looking this up.
they
Look,
sold
we don't give a shit about like attendance numbers and ticket sales and shit, but I gotta
yeah, they did numbers for that show. And
they
I
did that might have been pay-per-view buys. They did 7,000, but still 7,000 people to 2025 TNA show. Like that's
maybe
huge.
maybe it was they were comparing it to something else. Like I could be wrong. Whatever, it doesn't
It
matter.
could have been buys or something. I don't know, but
Yeah. But I know that they had to reopen they opened more tickets for that show for people to
yeah,
walk in.
I think they sold out the how they set up the seating. Like they sold
Yeah.
out the arrangement, which still that's a huge deal. Like to do that for TNA.
In 2025.
Yeah, so I mean, like I'm like as far as like for wrestling, that's good. That's a
but
positive. I just kind of wish that they're just in a weird spot. I mean, it's been all downhill since Scott Demore left, but like
and then we got to talk about the big match that they announced on the show though, coming October or whatever date that they said.
the
October 1st.
Dudley's Hardy's final burning.
Oh man, you
I just
we
hope nobody gets seriously injured.
that's my fear. All right. Like okay, nobody asked for this, but
Well, because
hey,
let me ask you this: Devon is coming out of retirement for this, right?
yeah, he's getting in shape right now.
And the last time I saw Matt Hardy wrestle, he had like KG Muto knees.
He still
Like
does.
that dude's waddling around at this stage. So I mean, Jeff Hardy can still move. He's still fucking nuts. So like, I'm sure he'll be.
He's off a bean, so I mean, yeah. So that was the only wrestling that I did see. I I did start my TNA journey, my NWA TNA. I knocked out 2 episodes. I
The
did do
Flying
that.
Elvises, dude.
Shout out Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah,
He's your boy.
I did not like him as a kid.
I love. Yeah. No, as a kid,
I hated the gimmick.
yeah. When it first popped, I didn't like it, but now later on, I fuck with.
I'm sure his works. I've heard really good things about when he was just like Jimmy Yang in like All Japan and on the Indies and stuff.
When he was Jimmy Yang in WCW with the Young Dragons,
Even
dude was
that,
awesome.
yeah. I'll open my mind and expand my tastes a little bit for that one. But I hope the TNA deep dive is entertaining at the very least. But you should get some good stuff here
There
and
was
there
a
in
little,
those early years.
there was a little person with a gun. It was awesome.
Hell yeah. Um, yeah, if you're catching up, I'll send you my G1 recommendations. There's been at least like one good to great match every night, which I mean that's all you could really ask for, right?
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I mean
They all
they
can't
got
be
some good
10-star
things.
bangers, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But there's another show tomorrow morning. I believe it's Tanahashi David Finlay main eventing, which I'm really really excited for because I've taken the David Finlay pill. I'm fully bought in, and I want to see how he heals it up against the Ace. So I'll report back with my findings next week. But if you want to get into AEW, I'm ready if you are.
Let's knock it out.
Cold open with MJF and Hangman backstage, and interesting. This was heavy on MJF this week. Maybe not in the ways that we would have expected. Um, but Hangman was pretty much calling him out for kind of holding the blade over his head, like the blade of Damocles with that contract. I don't know where they're going with this yet because MJF has made a lot of enemies and he made even more tonight. So we'll have to see. But do you take anything to take away from this from your point of view?
Uh, Later on, I have a few questions when we get to the other part because
Sure.
they seem to rush that part a little bit. But
Yes, I would agree. I guess the big question is though, because the way that they've presented this thus far, and I actually think they've done a decent job of it, to where I could plausibly see MJF taking the easy way out with the contract, or him being such an egomaniac that he calls a shot early and they have an actual match, and then he loses.
yeah, I want to say, oh no, he said he wanted to beat him in the ring. He didn't really say a match though. So
True. So maybe he'll insert himself into something. I don't know. I feel like they're at least keeping that open for now. I could see any plausible conclusion with that. Um,
I feel like we'll get a tease next week for sure.
that is a great point. Uh, this went right into a good old fashioned top guy squash match,
Hangman beating the shit out of Wheeler Yuta match. That's what I'm
and
talking about.
it was fucking awesome.
That's
This was sick, dude. Just full on punishing Yuta, making him pay for his sins. But there was a little interesting twist in the post match, which the post match was worse than the match as far as like him just getting
yeah,
violent. Yuta, underrated blade job he has, and I think it's just because he doesn't have a lot of opportunities to do it. But what's cool about it too, because I was like, I don't know, like if that was blade or not because of his hair, like you couldn't tell where it was coming from.
yeah.
But it looked awesome. Like he was like kind of doing the convulsing stuff. He's still learning from his mentor in that regard. And it just visually looked sick with the chain wrapped around. And I was almost thinking with the way that they were building this, if the next Moxley Hangman match wasn't going to be dog collar or not, but we would get our answer later in the night. But I do love the twist of Hangman telling Yuta like they're not going to come for you, dude. Like this was almost like in a weird way like a come to Jesus moment, but in like the most fucked up way possible.
Yeah, I can see it.
I think they're planting the seeds for Yuta to turn, but I kind of want Brian Danielson to kill him first. But I don't know if we'll get that or not.
Yeah, I mean he did take a back bump and he did a dive. So
And he wasn't cleared to. He just did it anyways. I found that out.
oh yeah, I seen he did an interview or something.
Yeah, he was doing press.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, it was a doc. Oh, a doc didn't know about it." Like, uh,
Yeah, that's the go right there. But got anything else on this opening segment?
not too much. I just love the good old fashioned ass whooping.
Yeah, you need those every now and then. I think people frame it if a quote unquote squash match is a bad thing, but that's TV wrestling, man. Like I think there's a place for it, and this was employed well, and also like I think it just contributes to Hangman just feeling like the guy, you know?
Yeah, and later on, he for sure feels at that promo he cut at the end felt good too.
Yes, absolutely. Cut to backstage with Athena wearing the Shark Week fin, which I had some FOMO seeing that because I didn't get one.
Ah, I'm saying, man, I want
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that would have been cool. Um, but a lot of contract stuff. They're pretty heavy-handed with this in the first half hour here between MJF and Athena, but Athena is very much on the opposite spectrum of where she, or opposite side of the spectrum, to where she's just like, no, I'm gonna just do it. Like, I don't care how. Like, I'm gonna steal the belt if I have to, and Billy's gonna help me. Which, shout out Billy Starks wrestling on TV after working Japan this weekend, where she took an Alabama Slam to the ring apron.
Yeah, I seen a clip of that, I think.
Fucking gross. She's got that psycho gene in her, man, where it's like she's not the cleanest worker, but she's willing to do the most insane shit on the night, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Which we can all appreciate that. That went right into. I did not know this tournament was announced at all. I don't know if this was announced on Collision.
I the first time I seen it was when it was announced. The bracket showed up, and that was tonight, and that was the first time I seen it. So
Okay, this was they're doing a eliminator tournament for a world title match at Forbidden Door. I wonder if that means if we will get some visiting teams. I would think that might be CMLL because New Japan has a G1 going on right now, so a lot of their heavyweights are tied up. Um, like their tag champs right now are Ishii and Taichi, and Taichi's in the tournament, so it's like they can't really. I don't think you're going to see anybody fly over until the tournament's wrapped up in a few weeks, but no teams announced for it, and I think that has to do with the Guns injury, which is really unfortunate.
that's yeah.
Like they just came back, and then
That was
Colton
my
Newman, I believe, hurt
uh,
himself.
yeah. And they said that I just read an article, or not article, but I read a headline right before we got on here that they were thinking that he would be back good in time to come back to the tournament, but they had to scrap him, I think, now.
Yeah, so
So,
hey, get well soon. The Bang Bang Gang cannot catch a fucking break, dude. I feel terrible about that.
uh, uh, I just want to see him.
I would have even just had Juice take his place.
That's what I was thinking too, but now I seen an interview with Juice where like he wants to be taken more seriously, so I'm like, oh, here we go with this.
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, am I supposed to be the guy that pees on people? Yeah, man, because it was funny. But I get it. It's cool.
He is a good wrestler, though. I don't think he gets his due. So hopefully they build him, and he has. I just want to see him having things to do because I don't believe unless he was on Collision, I don't think he's been on TV since. So this match though for the opening round, first match of the tournament, FTR versus Jet Speed.
He was
I
on
was just
Collision.
shocked. I did not see. Wait, what's up?
I think he was on Collision actually.
Okay, yeah, again, that's my mistake. I have to. This weekend was just a blur. And just I've had other shit to do. But this match was awesome,
This
and
match kicked all types of ass.
I feel like FTR versus Jet Speed is big enough to where it would have been announced ahead of time, and I just have no recollection of it being announced.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure this all got announced like right as the show started.
Okay, yeah, and honestly, like I did not catch the actual cold open because my Max app was loading up. So this was FTR versus Jet Speed though, really sick match. Honestly, I don't remember the last time FTR had just like a straight up like lengthy tag match on Dynamite like this because they're like the
Yep.
Collision guys.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, they're usually on Collision, but I'm not mad at it because I feel like they're getting uh that top guy push again until you get stuck in a coke vortex.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking. So they ended up winning this match, and we don't want to talk about this match, but I'm almost like this might be their avenue
Yeah,
to build to the match in Toronto. You know, they probably will win those belts at Forbidden Door, and then uh we'll build to that. But this was really good, I thought, and it was a lot. Don't get me wrong, and usually I'm the one who's stingy about that, but I think with just how insane the sprint to the finish was and how they ended up winning with the leverage with the crutch, it almost made it kind of manifested. They like created that chaos, you know.
yeah.
But a whole bunch of shit like Speedball and Kevin Knight flying around. FTR still kind of grounding it with the knee work, which maybe not the best decision because like it's like you're nerfing their offense, so to speak, but they're still going to do it anyway. So I could see the hole there, but like I didn't mind it. That usually is something that I'm more stingy about. But hard hitting and obviously like a jet speed are going to bring a lot of those the high spots. But overall, I think that they balance this well. I think FTR don't get enough credit to how they can find that middle ground between the older Southern style tags and then with a more modern high flying team like this, they could still do some really good stuff. And also, pop for the Brett figure four on the ring post.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
Mm-hmm.
But this was, yeah, give me more of this. But I feel like, see who they facing. I don't even know where the bracket is. But,
They didn't announce any other matchups yet.
oh, okay, then never mind.
Yeah, it's like a blank bracket. They're just like, yeah, this is the bracket, and it's gonna be Forbidden
They
Door.
said,
So
hey, these guys are going to be in it today.
yeah, so
Well,
it's Forbidden Door. Who the hell knows is gonna show up?
but yeah, uh, solid match. The after the match irritated me, but
Before we get to that, I do just want to point out the timing on that last speedball dive,
split
where
second.
Dax slid to the outside while he's mid springboard. It's just like, damn, dude. Like, I'm all about maybe some more sandpaper in types of matches like this, but that's one of those things where I just have to just be like, yeah, dude, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I said, man. Like
That's awesome.
FTR is like top five, top 10 tag teams.
Yeah, and this felt like a real. I mean, they've had some good stuff with the Outrunners as of late, as we've discussed previously. It was almost like we were excited for the heel turn, and they just didn't have all that much to do. But maybe the answer was just to put them on Dynamite and just let them go to work.
Speaking of the Outrunners, tomorrow night they'll be at the Railcat Stadium throwing out the
Oh
first
yeah, first
pitch,
pitch. They
and
better
they're
be in the Newport tights for that one.
signing autographs into the third inning. I, ugh.
Thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it. It's $12 to get in, $12 ticket. Catch me some good baseball. I'll catch a baseball game. Meet the youngest guys alive.
Do you still know if they do Clunker Car Night?
I haven't been to a Railcast game in so long.
I've probably haven't been to one in 20 years, but
I'm saying
I remember for a while they were doing one where they gave like a shitty used car away every inning.
bad at. Give me that.
One night a year, dude. Imagine,
I'll,
yeah, dude. I got Outrunner's autograph. They signed my new car.
they signed my Ford Fiat. Like,
They signed the hubcaps, dude.
they signed the hubcaps. Oh yeah,
And then
yeah. I
just
just
get it wrapped in Newport textures. You got the new whip.
got the new whip. Can't tell me
Yeah.
nothing.
Uh, really awesome tag match though, and again, I love them leveraging the pin with the crutch. That's just like I love that they're still able to do these really awesome tag matches, but still have a shitty finish like that. But it doesn't feel like it doesn't take away from the match. To me, I just kind of laughed. I'm like, hell yeah, you know. Enough of me waxing poetic about that. Did get a post match angle where there's this weird thing in the storyline where Stokes saying if Adam Copeland interferes, he's fired, which it's like, why? How does that make sense?
Hey, it makes 0 sense.
You know what makes even less sense? Paying a heel team to do your business for you.
There we go. This is the part that I was irritated about.
What is this?
I said, "What?" Like I thought it was gonna be the Outrunners first of all.
That
Could
would
have
have
been.
actually made more sense.
Yeah, but it's fine. I guess not. And then, all right, is this how they slowly transition them into the face team?
I think they're trying to turn the Hurt Business babyface, but it's like because like they're over as it is. Like everybody loves doing the entrance, and they're just like likable
And then,
wrestlers.
and then, if so, what happens later makes sense, but
That
it
does.
doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
this all just feels like a really, really, really strange way of getting there.
yeah, like we'll get to it later. But
Yeah, this is
yeah,
probably the one part of the show where I really was like, I don't know about that.
yeah, my wife, God bless her soul, like didn't understand why I said what the fuck. But you know, okay, I'm not gonna. I guess I'll withhold judgment until I see what happens. Again,
I'm gonna throw another point of criticism out there too. FTR in a tournament to wrestle them. Like you don't need any other reason to have this match, you know?
yeah,
And it's like at the very least, you could consider the Hurt Business like tweeners, you know, like they are going to be heels against a team like Jet Speed, but I think if you do put them against FTR, like naturally the crowd's going to gravitate towards them anyways, and it's like everybody if it's FTR against Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, that's like damn near 80 years of in-ring experience between those four. It's like they can figure it out.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and us fans already want that, so you don't need a tournament to get to that.
Or the tournament itself like is a fine avenue. Well, we don't. It's like putting a hat on a hat, and
Yeah.
the hat don't look good. So like
And
I
it's
don't
like,
know
I
what
get
we're
it.
doing here.
You need TV. I understand. Cool. Uh, like, I just don't understand. This was a weird way if you're trying to switch them. So weird.
Very weird way. We'll talk more Hurt Syndicate in a little bit, but moving on, we got another Nick Wayne pre-tape. Um, Someone on the internet pointed out that he's kind of adopted Christian Cage's cadence, and that not only works, but it makes sense.
But yeah,
And I actually appreciate it now because I was like, oh yeah, like this is a decent pre-tape. I just didn't know what to expect out of Nick Wayne promos, but
yeah. The one he cut last week was really good too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and I'm like, it makes sense that Christian's still probably working him through it, even if he's off TV. But this was
I
fine.
just hope they're not called uncaged.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but this was fine. I think they said they're gonna make their debut, like in-ring debut, is this
Saturday.
Saturday. So I'll withhold my judgment on the gimmick until then. But then Osprey walking in, you could read it on his face that something was wrong, and I was concerned. But then obviously, turns out things aren't too terrible, and uh, I knew he was hurt. I was reading that he's been hurt for a while. I don't think the details were made public.
Yeah, I'm just glad that timetable wise, it's looking not so bad. But also at the
Yes,
same time, that could be, we don't know the truth. It could
yes,
be,
we can just talk about that now. In-ring promo with Tony Schiavone. You know, even when I saw his face walking out and like Schiavone gave him a hug, I'm like, oh god, like what is wrong? Like this just felt
oh,
off.
wait, first, actually. Let's
Yeah,
get
we
the,
did. We
the
could talk. I didn't know if you
yeah.
wanted to just go into this. There was a Moxley
Oh,
pre-tape, which was really good. I thought.
yeah, this was one of his better pre-tapes, honestly. That's why I wanted to go back to it real quick. Like,
Yeah, no, I didn't know if because we were talking about that. We were just kind of freewheeling here.
oh
But
yeah, yeah.
so before
Uh,
the Osprey interview, what are your thoughts on the Moxley promo?
I liked it. I like what I liked how it's setting up for the rematch. He said, "Let's see you do it again," and then again. Are you going to be the guy every time? And that's set up for Hangman to come out, spoiler later, and show that intensity. So that rematch, no fuck. I'm a little jealous right now. I got FOMO.
Yeah, Champion's Burden is basically the theme of the promo. I what I really liked about it was that you rarely get promos where the heel admits that they did lose, and he played it off of just like, yeah, I did, but like I'm stronger than you. I'm just gonna come back. Like you can't kill me. And this dude tapped out like the most definitive way you could lose.
Fucking
And the
choked
fact,
out like a cartoon character.
yeah, it was amazing. And the fact that he's coming back, like it's obviously it's a facade, but he's like presenting himself as unfazed. It's like, damn, dude, like I'm so glad he's not gone because I just assumed he would have been gone. Um, but yeah, really good stuff. Moxley has had. I understand that. I think we had whatever the opposite of rose tinted goggles are. Basically for the first couple months of the year because he was in a couple of bad programs. But when you really boil it down, man, like this is some of the best work I think he's done in AEW. So that's continued. Back to the ring. Something was up with Ospreay. The way that he was just handling himself, and Tony giving him a hug right away. Like I didn't know if he was going to be out for a long time. And then he starts talking about neck issues, couple of herniated discs, but he's going to try to make the London show. So you never want to see anybody injured in this business. So I hope he can make the big show. And he's not. I don't believe he's from London proper, but greater London area.
You know how I feel. It's my favorite wrestler. So like, so it sucks. But I'm hoping for the best that he can come back at Forbidden Door and at least be in front of his home country.
Yeah. I think he's like just outside of London, so like maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. I know my English geography. I don't know exactly where Osprey's. I believe he's from Essex, so
It's
yeah. Have the triumphant return in front of your friends and family, right?
it sucks, man. I feel like it was gonna be him, probably at Forbidden Door. Maybe that's what they were leaning, but
I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with him. You could have done him and Zach again. I mean, I've seen that match like 50 times, but I'm sure Tony Khan would have liked to have it happen once in his promotion. You could have, he said, he kind of bigged up everybody for defeating Death Riders. The way he worded it, we're probably going to get Moxley, Ospreay at All Out, which they haven't wrestled one-on-one in a very long time, so I'd like to see what that looks like now. I mean, we were at the last time they wrestled.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and that was a really cool match.
I don't know if you were there, but that New Japan show that they did when you say right. That match.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That I believe that was the last time they wrestled.
Oh wow, I got confused.
No, I'm saying I think they're going to wrestle at
All
this
year.
year. Yeah, the last singles match they had was Windy City Riot.
Oh,
and then they
gotcha.
had,
they haven't wrestled at AEW yet, right?
No, I want to say they had the big multi-man tag in Mexico, and then they had the Ospreay was in the tournament. Yeah, so yes, they had the match last month in Mexico, and then they had a three-way match at Wrestle Kingdom in 2024. So last year, it was Moxley, Ospreay, and David Finlay, but they have not had a proper singles match in over 3 years. So it might be time for that.
That match fucked. That
was a cool match.
Being there live.
Yeah, I remember having a lot of fun during that match. So I'd like to see, because Ospreay and Moxley are both, 3 years is a long time. You pick up things, you change things. So point being, though, we're not going to see him for a few weeks. But hey, when you hear neck problems and it's only a few weeks, that's potentially that's a blessing,
Especially in retrospect, when you look back at the matches he was taking while being hurt and not telling anybody.
He didn't slow down at all.
Like that cage match with Fletcher takes a whole new meaning now. If you look at it.
10 months. What's 10 months? That's September of last year. So that's off the top of my head. That's like the Pac match. Oh, he took the tombstone onto the fucking steel steps with an injured neck.
Yeah.
From Fletcher.
That sky-high powerbomb that Fletcher did to him in that cage match, and he landed.
Spanish fly off the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he threw caution to the wind every time. So, which you can appreciate it, but it's also like, hey, dude, like
chill out, bro.
He's had neck issues in the past when he did that inverted 450 in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Or did he hurt himself? I don't know.
He did something, but I heard
he had to stop doing the inverted 450.
Side note: I want that soccer jersey. Just saying, the Chicago colors.
I thought he had a Crystal Palace jersey on for a sec with the red and blue stripes, but it was he's got his own thing going on. I think you might see him refresh that, because he was still rocking United Empire colors for a while with the first soccer jersey, but now he's kind of detached from that, Uh, anyways, off of that side note,
We get a hype video for the Sisters of Sin, or Sisters in Sin, or whatever they are.
yeah, and I actually thought I don't think they're done adding people yet. I have a theory. With the rumors that AEW are interested in Isla Dawn, I feel like that's a perfect fit for her.
Like she's got that gothy vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
that
see that.
might be your way in. And like, I don't think they've had a women's stable with four wrestlers. Were the Outcast four wrestlers, or were they only three? But I mean, that was also the Outcast.
Paige, Tony Storm, Ruby Soho.
Harley Cameron was involved, but I think that's after Ruby left and Tony turned
Yeah,
face. So I think that's new ground for them. So for whatever that's worth, but I think when you're like I said, they've really dedicated this year to building a women's mid card. I think it's good to have a couple of stables. So I'm cool with that.
trying to see more Tekla anyway, so that
I,
works.
I still want that damn Tekla Aminata blow off.
Yeah, I don't think that's out of the woodwork because Amanada still posted stuff on Twitter throwing shots. So
Her Twitter's awesome, dude.
yeah, I love it. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome in general. We're big Aminata fans here, but from a positive to I guess a negative. And now we do get to this more hurt syndicate, MJF stuff, which we thought they were going to build to this like and telegraph it on TV, but it looks like this is just an outright pivot. Ashley's done with him, and everybody's mad at him. And it seems that there's big problems with MJF in the Hurt Syndicate, which I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna give you the floor in a second. But I'm like, they took so long to put him in this group, and now just like that, that's it.
That's my complaint is they drug it out for weeks.
And it was the longest segment on the show every week.
And then you're gonna do this. And now is it because it's not going the way you thought it would go? It's not, but it's. I think it's still doing what you wanted it to do, other than the Hurt Syndicates being so over. But that shouldn't matter.
Maybe they wrote themselves into a corner because if they are turning them face, obviously they're not going to turn MJF face. I feel like they have. I mean, MJF is in programs with like three of the biggest baby faces on the planet right now. Loosely with Hangman, Mystico is the babyface in Mexico.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then Mark Briscoe is Mark Briscoe. So it's like he ain't turning anytime soon, and he really shouldn't because I think babyface MJF was a disaster, all things considered. Um, in my opinion, at least.
I didn't like it at all. He's not a good face. He needs to be healed. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So maybe they're thinking just to make him a solo act again when he is um, going through this gauntlet that he's assembled for himself. But it just feels it doesn't feel airtight at all. This feels very like an almost knee-jerk reaction, I would say.
yeah, it's totally out of left field. I didn't expect to see this coming. Now my only assumption is, what now? It's going to be weeks of MJF sucking up to them, kind of thing. We're going to get more of that, and I don't want that again.
Or maybe one of them cost each other their either MJF's going to cost him the tag belts and or Lashley cost him his title match. I'm trying to figure out the timeline here because it's like I don't know if they're gonna burn that Briscoe match on TV. I think you can go to All Out for that.
Yeah, I feel like you're pushing it. That's probably MJF turned it down.
Or you do the first match on TV. With MJF, a lot of the time you do the first match on TV and then you do the pay-per-view match. He's done that with at least with Adam Cole and CM Punk, which were two of his bigger programs, right? So I could see them doing that here. But then it's like he's got a lot on his plate to where it's like, where do you work this in now? Because you don't see a lot of people with like. I always kind of thought that the MJF Hangman thing would be kind of something to keep in the back of your head, but it's been on screen a lot.
They're pushing it.
Like, dude's in 3 programs right now, 3 singles feuds at the same time. Now you're gonna have a fourth? How does that work? A lot of cooks in the kitchen. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I
Yeah,
don't know what they're doing with this.
yeah. Moving on though, Billy Starks versus Tony Storm. I thought this was fine. I
It could
I
have been
I,
better.
I think Billy was a couple steps behind, but understandably so, because I mean, like I said, she had a very physical match in Japan just a few days ago. So I think that fatigue might have showed a little bit, or maybe they just didn't have the best chemistry. But this was more of a build-up match to. Well, they actually teased the Athena cash in, but I don't know if you have anything on this.
It was an okay, like you said, it was an okay match. Uh, could have been better, but like you said, probably just tired and got her ass whooped in Japan. Uh, and
Yeah,
maybe jet lag too. You never know.
right, right.
But uh, looks like it's set up for a tag match, maybe somewhere down the line.
First, first though, which they did announce this last week. Um, Alex Windsor versus Athena on Saturday for the ROH Women's World Championship, which I believe is a rematch from the Australia taping. They did Global Wars Australia when they did the Grand Slam show. So this is their second match this year, though I believe it's also going to be Alex Windsor's proper AEW television debut. And you put her with Athena, I mean, can't ask for a better match than that off the bat. Like, she'll take care of her.
That's gonna be some good shit too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I gotta go back and watch. I gotta go back and watch that Global Wars show in general because not only is that match on there, but there's a Lee Moriarty Robbie Eagles match that I heard was really good.
I did see that match.
Yeah, I gotta go
I
back and watch all that.
because I think I tuned into. I think I tuned on. Like, I turned on Global Wars. Like, I had it on the background. I was like, "Oh, this is on now." I just turned it on. I think that match was on. I don't remember much from it, but I remember it being on.
For sure. Before we get into the second half of the show, would you cool if we take a quick break? I bet. We're back, and following the Tony Storm match and the teased cash in, went right back into the next match, which in recent news, the Alchemist of the Ring, Hechicero, has signed a dual contract between AEW and CMLL. I'm glad it is a dual deal because I feel like that would be such a huge loss, and I just think AEW use him differently. Like, in weeks past, he's been in a lot of like the party match scenarios and stuff. Here was maybe not the case, but I think just kind of a weird matchup just because of how it's a real, excuse me, it was a real clash of styles because he is like one of the best Yaveo like technical wrestlers in the world today. Swerve is much more of the flashy athletic stuff, but thought this was a good way. I think that what they were trying to do by putting him with Swerve, saying that yeah, like this guy, uh, he can stick it out with the top guys in the company, so to speak.
We're gonna get the Cerro guy. Uh, Don Callis' intro had me dying laughing because he's done it for everybody now. He did it for Kenny. He did it for Okada. He did it. There was someone else. Takeshita, but he did it. He'll name better, like, so for Kenny, I think he named better Canadian wrestlers, and
Mm-hmm.
then for Okada and Takeshita, he named Japanese, and then for Hechicero, he did Spanish. I thought it was hilarious. I just like the callback.
Yeah, they called him the best luchador in the history of Mexico. I have not seen enough historic lucha to agree, but what I will say is he's certainly one of the best luchadors in the world today. Yeah, he had such an incredible 2024 and still had some really really strong work this year too. Um, I think in general though, this is a really nice fit for him while Takeshita's gone,
Yeah,
because I think Takeshita is going very far in the G1 if he doesn't win the whole damn thing. So you lose Takeshita for a month, you bring somebody in who I don't think he'll be there with Fletcher and Takeshita, but I think he'll be right underneath. I This is where I'm a little bit bummed out that they kind of got rid of the international title because I think that would have been really awesome for him.
yeah. And but is he still feuding with Bandito over there on Ring of Honor, right?
Yes, that match is yet to be announced, but I think because I was thinking to myself, man, like this is happening very fast. But the fact that he's under an AEW deal now, you can drag it out another month if they wanted to do that for Death Before Dishonor, which is early September in the ECW arena. So you have him around. I'm sure Don Callis family will have some sort of big multi-man tag on Forbidden Door. That way you get some CMLL flavor in there. So I think this is just. I think this is the best case scenario. When I saw that he was signing to AEW, I honestly would have been upset if he wasn't going to work CMLL anymore. But now you get both. So
And Montana, best of both worlds.
true, true. You got anything on the match?
Pretty sweet match. Nothing really write home about, to be honest, to be fair. Good TV match. Sets up for the after match.
Yeah, which non-finish here, which I get because like you don't want to pin the guy as soon as he signed the deal, and they're going to protect Swerve. You know, like they're going to protect Swerve with the program that he's in, which Okada shit cans him. I think they're done playing around with the goofy Okada. I think they are trying to make him more of a traditional heel, which I think
Yeah,
works.
yeah. I think the whole the Young Bucks not being EVPs and everything, like all that, it's kind of a reset. You know what I'm saying? So
I think he needed it though.
yeah, he needed this reset to remind motherfuckers who he is. Uh, and did he need Don Callis? Not really, but I guess you need a mouthpiece if you wanna.
Sure,
But
sure,
you
I
know,
can see that.
and then I
Which
feel like the Okada Swerve match is gonna be sweet again. So
Yeah, I want to see what they could do second time around. I mean, obviously, I'm only assuming this will have pay-per-view time. I think this will be Forbidden Door match.
oh yeah,
I think they're keeping for a long time. I think they're going to keep Okada and Jay White especially away from New Japan talent. So if you have just an AEW title match on there, that works. Although Yota Tsuji was calling out Okada in some post-match comments a couple months ago, but I don't. I mean, this is clearly the path now. You know,
yeah,
I don't think you're going to see Okada really interact with a lot of New Japan guys for a while. Just given the nature of things, but also it's like he never really worked with a lot of the young guys on his way out. Aside from he kind of gave Kosei Fujita the rub before he left, but he didn't put anybody else. He didn't put nobody over. So I don't think that was going to happen. And then when you get into interpromotional politics, that's a whole other mess. But yeah, so this makes sense. Like you don't have to get into all the nastiness there. You could just stick Okada on the match in England. People are going like that show's doing very well, by the way. If you do want to talk business, um, they are actually pushing 20K for that show.
hell yeah. Maybe that was the one I looked up and I got
Yeah,
confused.
it's an only UK date. Well, Scotland
Yeah,
is the TV before. Yeah, okay.
They're doing Dynamite in Glasgow, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah. Those crowds are going to be lit. That's the only England date is Forbidden Door. So they're packing O2, which that'll be awesome. And it'll probably be another day show with the time change. I don't think they're gonna that's not gonna be on delay. It's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be on at like 2 p.m., which I'm cool with that. Um
Noon pre-show. Let's go. 7 hours, baby.
I'll say just don't go 6 hours this time, please. Um,
For as long as WWE doesn't run something to try to counterproduct it, you know.
oh yeah, they will. I think they already announced something.
They did Heat
Um,
Wave or something like that.
there ain't gonna be no awesome Tanaka on that heat wave,
I'm
but
saying.
anyways, yeah, this was all fine. I think we get more MJF though. Uh, I'll be honest. I've been I feel like I've been higher on the Mark Briscoe MJF stuff than a lot of people. But I will agree with the consensus that this did feel like more of the same.
Yeah, this one was really. To be fair, I tuned out for this one because I was getting my kid ready for bed.
Mm-hmm.
But
He didn't miss much.
yeah, I feel like it was just gonna be the same kind of promo. Did he bring up his brother?
He did, and it wasn't. It was, I think, more tasteful this time. So he's just saying how like everybody respects his brother, but it was more of saying how like he's living in his shadow. Nobody will ever respect him. Nobody will ever take him seriously. And this could be me just coping. No, Adam. That the way that the verbiage a lot of they're using, he would never be a top guy. Nobody will take him seriously. He's not credible enough. You know, he's kind of like the mascot sideshow guy. Is that could they possibly use this to launch him into a main event scenario?
I mean, that's usually the terminology. Like as a wrestling fan, that's usually the terminology that happens, right?
I want to see it so badly, man. I don't care. I don't care if he held the belt for a week.
I mean,
Like Mark
if you,
Briscoe is world champion material. I think he's been one of, if not the best wrestler of 2025 so far.
I mean, like if you look at the promo leading into the main event, kind of makes sense because he beat. Yeah, I mean, Claudio, the top name guy, top guy in my eyes.
He's like Moxley's gatekeeper, so to
Yeah.
speak.
So I
He's
mean,
the yeah. So the promo itself, yes, I agree. I think it was lacking, and I think for the longest time, Mark Briscoe just kind of stood there and took
did he talk about
all
his
that.
little penis?
He did. Um,
Yeah,
that's
he
when I'm
did.
kind of like, man, like when I heard Mark Briscoe's music, I'm like, all right, kick his ass. Like this might be more on Briscoe than MJF, but right now, there's nothing more I want to see in pro wrestling other than the Tanahashi Miracle Run. Even though he already had that in 2018, but go Ace. That's that's my guy. I want to see Mark Briscoe just fucking beat the living shit out of MJF. Like they've built this to where I'm like, I throw my critic glasses or whatever the fuck. I'm no critic. I just like talking about the stuff and like getting in the weeds a little bit. I throw my any sort of analytical perspective out the window and I'm just like, get his ass, Mark. Like beat the shit out of that boy.
When he beats MJF, the crowd pop's gonna be nuts.
I'm gonna lose my mind, dude.
Yeah,
Like I just want Mark Briscoe to get his and in brutal fashion, man. Like this is again, the feud on paper is a no brainer. I just wish there was excuse me. The feud on paper, no brainer. I just wish there was more to it at this point. But like we established earlier, MJF's kind of being stretched thin right now, maybe when he shouldn't be. Uh, so I think they just need to do some housekeeping and get their ducks in a row. But yeah, I don't think you missed much with the promo, but I'm still like, give me the damn match, you know?
yeah. That you said all out, right? It's probably the match.
Yeah, which that's 2 months. So
You don't think they? Yeah, you would run that at Forbidden Door, right?
if they don't run that Forbidden Door, I think they're gonna do a TV match.
I feel like I would run it at Forbidden Door. Why not, right? I mean,
I actually think they're not gonna do the Apuesta there. But you might get some sort of MJF Mystico match. I don't know if it's a tag or if they just do a singles match there to get Mystico on the card because CMLL guys work England frequently. I don't think that's like as far as like visas are concerned. I don't think that's an issue. Um. And like he's had kind of had this gimmick going of where he doesn't wrestle New Japan guys. except he said he would wrestle the Great Okan, and then he beat Tanahashi a few years ago. But um,
Face Great O'Con.
he had a pretty cool match today with Takeshita.
You need to watch that. He's another one of my favorites.
Spoilers: he broke up a pin with the claw, which was sick as hell. But yeah, I'll send you my G1 Rex. So that's once we're off the air.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think if you see MJF on Forbidden Door, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's gonna be kind of in Mystico's sphere. Like, no brainer on paper is to just run El Sky Team, which is Mystico's stable, against the Hurt Syndicate.
but now,
Yeah, but now I don't know what the hell we're doing here, because El Sky Team is Mystico, Mascara Dorada, and Neon, which Neon's another like insane high flyer, you know, and then you have the Hurt Syndicate to kind of punish them. But that ain't happening now, I don't think.
what's happening with that?
So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't think you missed much, but they kind of used Mark Briscoe coming out to tie it right into the main event, which I think was pretty time efficient. The overrun wasn't too crazy tonight. I was on overrun with dealing with stuff with the family, but that's why we started a little bit late here. But main event time, I really liked this match. It was Mark Briscoe versus Claudio Castagnoli, which again, I don't remember seeing this announced, and I would have been more pissed off about missing this had that been announced earlier. So maybe they're looking out for me there, but because these are two of my favorites, and I thought this was a really good match. Do you have anything on this?
That heavy. I just feel like they were like, all right, you're free and you don't have a match. Get out there, you know. I loved it.
This is really good.
I was happy with the victory. We won too. So
Yeah, kind of just hitting some bullet points here. I appreciate that they did something different with Claudio's entrance, given that they are in the same building. So instead of the awesome track, like last week they did that really sick tracking shot of all the Death Riders. This week they had him like posted up between the pillars of the building as you're going up the staircase. So he was just stanced the fuck up. And then they followed him through the crowd. Really cool stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, he entered by himself. Nobody ran in until afterwards. So this was all business. Claudio never minds handling things by himself. But you know, these are probably two of the greatest tag workers ever. But they held their own in a singles match. Beat the shit out of each other. Briscoe was you know, he didn't pull any punches. He went for it with all of his craziness. The one part in the match though that I really appreciated was it was one of those instances in wrestling where you kind of hit all these different points in like one swift motion but it felt like very organic, where I feel like with lesser wrestlers it would have like stopped the match to kind of go off the checklist, you know what I mean? And the instance I'm talking about is like Claudio sets up for the neutralizer, but Briscoe pushes him in the corner, which forces the break. And because the ref's separating the two, then Claudio can eye poke. And I just thought that was like a really smart thing to do, like to get to him working underhanded. And it was just like just such a natural progression of things. It was just such a small moment, but like I love when wrestling gives you those little bits to where you could kind of sit back and zoom out a little bit and just be like, yeah, like that was, yeah. I mean, these are two pros. You should expect that of them. I can't remember the last time I saw an Avalanche body slam.
I see Avalanche crawler slams all the time, but not a body slam.
No, it was just something cool too. Like I feel like I haven't seen Claudio do that in a while. I could be mistaken.
Darby Allin popping up felt like universe mode on 2K. Like he just came out of nowhere, no clipped into the arena.
What are we doing with him?
I don't know. Did he not? Can he not wrestle?
That's what I'm trying to figure out if he's cleared or not. I mean, he did a fucking coffin drop to the outside in the stadium, but also Bryan Danielson was doing topes and he ain't cleared either.
Yeah, they're just doing whatever the hell they want to do.
There's doing shit. I mean,
Yeah,
hey, look, I appreciate when like a good people just doing shit moment,
yeah. Hey,
but I would like some clarity with Darby Allin because
Danielson already told us they didn't want him to do that shit. He just did it. Darbs, what we doing here?
I don't know if there's a more just doing shit person than Darby Allin, so that wouldn't
That
surprise.
glass spot lives rent free in my head.
Yeah, I just I hope maybe that's why they're doing the rematch with Moxley and Hangman because I don't know if maybe Darby just needs a little bit more time. Maybe he's not in ring shape. Maybe still recovering from climbing Mount Everest. Like
Man, maybe he's trying to get like his cardio back in shape because his breathing might be different, you know.
yeah. So maybe they're still figuring that out. But
And he did propel down from the stadium or from the ceiling of a. So I mean, like my man doesn't care. I seen him go to body bag get power bomb on the outside. So,
yeah, but Mark Briscoe wins with a roll up, which uh, I saw pointed out that second time in as many weeks he's lost with the roll ups. Maybe he's got a little bit of an Achilles heel developing, which is interesting because I do think we're going to get another Claudio Darby match, but I think Darby has to win it. So now you have a telegraphed weakness to exploit, which is very interesting. Death Riders come out, and you're just kind of expecting standard fare. Hangman just looking like the fucking guy, no music, microphone in hand, tells it how it is, and Moxley still just tries to duck him.
come out Red Dead Redemption style, main character, fine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the fucking man. Like
Dude,
this
he
is
is the
it.
man.
This is like I'm sold. Like I was sold leading up to this, and yes, I'm still sold now. Like he's the fucking man coming out there. He controlled the room, came out, challenged Mox. Now I got FOMO.
He challenged Moxley to the rematch.
Yeah, it's
Think
crazy.
about that. And I think maybe he was calling Moxley's bluff because the Moxley in the pre-tapes was a different guy to who went in the actual room. And I love that detail.
I thought he was. I for sure thought he was going to challenge him to a cage match. Just about to throw it out there.
I was almost thinking dog collar with how much the chain's been being used. However, Hangman's calling the shots and his rules, and he wants a straight up wrestling match with everybody barred from ringside. Which I'm into it. I know some people saying, well, where do you go from the Texas Death Match? I think that's a valid criticism, and I wouldn't if they never had these two touch for over a year, I wouldn't blame them. But I also think to truly put the stamp on Hangman as the guy, a pinfall victory is needed.
But yeah, for sure. Because you already
You
got
got the tap out.
twice.
Yeah, twice. If he pins John Moxley, what more can be said? So next week, once again from the Aragon Ballroom, if you hear if you hear some wails of frustration from coming from the region, that would be us. Because barring some change of plans, I don't think I'll be able to make it. But I'm still excited to see the match regardless. Again, I don't know if we talked about it on the air. I mean, maybe we did the opening of the show, but I do think that this is like not that they owe Chicago anything. They run here all the time, but with St. Louis being announced for Wrestle Dream, which I'll get in my soapbox in a second about that. But
Fuck St. Louis.
well, yeah, but also like the poster was generative AI, which was really disappointing.
I was gonna ask you why you posted that, but I figured you might tell me.
Yeah, so um point being though, Toronto and St. Louis, I know Toronto's more East Coast, but it's like you can get there from Detroit, you know? Like it's about as Midwest. It's about Midwest. Like if it's not Toronto, it's Winnipeg, and that's like it's more west. So Toronto and St. Louis, it's still kind of that same chunk of the chunk. Not let me start. Chunk of the continent, not country. They're two different countries. What am I saying? Um, so I don't see Chicago getting a pay per view this year. Additionally, when you think about it, Philly is the only like Eastern show that they've had on pay per view. The East Coast hasn't gotten a pay per view this year, and after Wrestle Dream, you only got two more. So I think East Coast will get those shows. If they could easily just do New Jersey and Florida again, or maybe mix it up. I've seen Boston floating around.
I would
So
say
unfortunately,
I see World's End happening back in New York or Jersey.
I would love it if they just did it at Hammerstein.
I love that too. Why not? You're running smaller shows anyway, but
AW pay per view in Hammerstein would be sick, but regardless, to our dismay, I don't think we're getting a big show. But also, that gives me time to stack some money and figure shit out for when we do get one. So hopefully sooner than later we'll be boots on the ground at an event again. But if Tanahashi was my last show this year, I guess I can't complain. Um, that was AEW Dynamite though. I thought again, besides MJF having too much on his plate, really was like my big issue with the episode. But other than that, I thought this was a very easy watch. I don't know about you.
a smooth watch. Didn't feel
Yeah,
like I said, didn't feel like a 2 hour, uh, 2 hour plus show.
no, this felt very efficient, very snappy, like just go go go. But it did also didn't feel rushed. It was just like a real easy watch, and I can't complain about that. Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, I was bitching all over the place about them using AI for the poster. I will elaborate real quick before we go. What burned my ass about it the most is like, yeah, like I'm always gonna be stingy about people using generative AI because it's like I am a graphic designer freelance, and that is killing the industry fast. I'll tell you that much. To where I might not be might not be doing that, depending on how things go. Which I'm not gonna open this can of worms, but with certain policies and agendas, it's probably only going to get worse. But computers, computers can't feel pain. Computers cannot comprehend the human experience. So support real art. What really did burn my ass though about it is that AEW has a very good track record with hiring independent artists and paying people for their work. So for them to do AI for a poster just felt really lazy to me.
I think my boy Julio might actually done some work for them.
That's awesome. I applied to work with Pro Wrestling Tees twice, and unfortunately they went elsewhere.
Oh,
But
shut up, my boy Jacob. Sorry.
yeah, um, I applied with them, and yeah, it didn't work. But like the thing is too is like, and again, maybe this is just sour grapes, but at least in the people on like social media, when AEW do pay people, like the people who get hired, they'll let you know every single time that they do a piece. So I'm thinking to myself, that's really great that people are getting these opportunities, but then it's like when you set that expectation and then you do AI, it's just like, yo, like, what are we doing here? Like, it also looks like shit. Go to that Wrestle Dream flyer, zoom in on the St. Louis skyline, dude. It looks terrible. No detail, it looks deformed. And it's like, the thing is, too, is like nowadays, this AI shit is it keeps expanding so rapidly that, like, you can, like, generate it and then, like, run it through a different program to touch it up and add details. And they just did it once and sent that shit. So, again, it just comes off as lazy and uninspired. And that's not something that AEW is known for with their visuals. Like, that was my issue with it.
Yeah, I I get what you're saying. I was like, I zoomed in, I saw how shitty it looked, and I was like, I can guarantee, I know this is like AI made and horrible, and Uh,
I don't know, man. Like there's things like there's quality of life stuff you could do with AI. Like hell, it's built into the software we're using, although I try not to use it. But like if it's like one click stuff to make your workflow easier, that's fine. But it's different when you're using it to make art, because that's more of the human experience.
the,
And
the,
also
the only
the
thing I
poster
use
looks like shit.
the only thing I use the AI for is to make my wrestler names on 2K25.
There you go.
Because I'm not good at making names, so I just ask them to give me some names and I use it.
Probably better than like NXT names
Absolutely.
IRL, but
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
because NXT names are wild, but
Except Javon Evans, 'cause that boy's bouncing.
true. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. It's just like it looks bad. Otherwise, though, not much to complain about. In regards to where they're at right now. Don't have much else. This was just TV. It was like a power hour and maybe power hour 20.
Hey, those
Get it
solid
done
hour
in
20.
get done in a quick 80, tight 80, and you're on your way. So next week, I'll chip in with my G1 findings. I'll send you my recs after we get off the air here. But I mean, there's nothing going on really until SummerSlam, and that's the conversation we'll have to have if we actually want to review that show. So
Probably do how we do every WWE. Just talk about what we liked.
sounds good to me.
Because I can tell you
Yeah,
one thing I'm not watching on that show. That tag match, I'm skipping over that one. That's gonna be my
yeah. I was like,
plus 10 of the night.
I don't even know the whole card, but um, I gotta, like I said, I gotta tap in, um, for to see how they're building it. But regardless, next week we'll be back with some G1 opinions. The July 30th episode of AEW Dynamite, once again from the Aragon Ballroom. And if we could work out some DPW catch up, that'd be great. If not, I mean, probably sometime before the summer's wrapped up.
We'll get to that. Because
All
I got
right.
I got Tag Festival queued up, I think. I gotta go back and make sure I watch all the other ones. I gotta see where I left off. But
Yeah, because I'm like creeping through January, like I'm at like a snail's pace getting through January wrestling, but I am gonna skip the list to catch up on DPW because that's it's DPW. We love that shit. So keep it locked here for all that. Chris, you got anything else for us this evening?
rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, what the hell? I've been so up my own ass about my own issues. Yeah, Skypoint, Ozzy, huge loss. Shout out WrestleMania 2 with the Bulldogs.
When I first I seen it, I didn't know it. I don't trust the internet. And then
Yeah,
I
like
and then I
celebrities die every day on the
yeah,
internet, but
and
they
I
actually
just
don't.
seen it just pouring. I said, "Damn!" And what's awesome is he went out his way, so he got to
Yeah, he
do one
played
last concert. He raised
at
hella money,
at his local football club stadium, Aston Villa
and
in
then
Birmingham.
raised so much money for. I want to say did it Parkinson's, I think.
Well, that's awesome.
Whatever, I don't know what he did it for, but he raised it, the whole thing was for charity. They raised so much money for that. He got to go on his terms. So, Scott Point, RIP, big dog.
Yeah, so much of we love heavy music. We play heavy music, and so much of that wouldn't exist without Black Sabbath, like full on. Um, it really sucks because he's one of the losses this year where it's just like you couldn't fathom him ever not being here. I'd say him and David Lynch, we both lost this year, and I never thought David Lynch was gonna die.
Like mine was Ozzy and Sabu to be
Sabu
like,
too, dude.
like that's like to be like 100% like, you know. So it's like,
Man, yeah. Not to go out on a sour note, but it's just like, man, like, uh, it's rough out here. But just you know, celebrate their art. Go spin a Black Sabbath record this week, and make the most of the time we have here.
hell yeah, amen, brother.
Well, for Steve and for Chris, thank you for listening if you got this far, and we'll be back next week with AEW and maybe a little bit of Deadlock. Keep it locked here.
See ya.